Peace. This is Waz for Waz Words Media, back at y'all for another round. And fight fans, we have a new megastar in the sport of boxing, and that is none other than Brian Norman Jr., who defended his WBO title at the welterweight division, traveled all the way to Japan to fight the hard-hitting. I mean, this was, you want to talk about a step-up fight. Not only a step-up fight for this young champion, who is the youngest champion in all of boxing, by the way, but he went and took on a guy that is a terror in Jin Sasaki. In Jin Sasaki's hometown of Japan, home country of Japan, he went over there, and I mean, this was the true test. Is Brian Norman for real? We've heard the rumors. We knew he was a young, up-and-coming talent. Then he ended up becoming champion by way of the vacation of belts. So, by Terrence Crawford. So at this point, we knew, okay, he's got one of the 4 belts. He's a young, up-and-coming talent that we've heard about for quite some time. But is he the real deal? Like, this was a big step-up fight. Sasaki is a very aggressive fighter. I mean, he throws punches with mean intentions. He's only had 1 loss on his career. He had a good knockout ratio. So this was a true test, and Brian Norman passed this test with flying colors. He recorded one of the most vicious, violent knockouts you will ever see. This knockout, I mean, it was one of those Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez type moments where you go from like, oh, to like, oh, is he okay? And yeah, you go from excitement to like a bit of concern, like, oh shoot, is he all right? He's gonna get up? But yeah, it was a complete onslaught from the beginning. Brian Norman knocks him down within like the first 45 seconds. Brian Norman knocks him down. Then Norman knocks him down again in the first round. Then he goes on, and Sasaki was landing. He was landing. He had some shots that he landed cleanly, but it was just too much Brian Norman. And then in the mid-rounds, what a finish. I mean, wow. It was a gazelle left hook, a gazelle punch. The famous Mike Tyson gazelle left hook punch. The leaping left hook. He caught him with a gazelle punch, and oh my, knockout of the year, without a doubt. Nothing's going to top this. This was knockout of the year, a brutal knockout victory for the new star in boxing, Brian Norman Jr. So now, what was interesting leading up to this fight was that Bill Haney and Brian Norman Sr. were both on a podcast together. And they both agreed that if Brian Norman gets past Jin Sasaki, there'll be an ultimate clash between Brian Norman and Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. This will be a really great test for Devin Haney. Devin Haney, as we all know, he hasn't looked the same ever since that fight. Albeit he lost by way of controversy. He lost by way of road's closed. Yeah, albeit he lost by controversy, he lost by steroids to Ryan Garcia, but I mean, the last fight he looked shaky. He still looked nervous. I honestly, truthfully, I don't think the Brian Norman fight's a good fight for Devin Haney. I know they verbally agreed, both sides, that they will fight if Brian Norman wins, but especially after what we saw from Haney in his last fight, how he looked kind of timid. He's still working it's still a work in progress, trying to mentally get back from that situation with Ryan Garcia, and he looked like he did not want to get hit. And one thing that I can guarantee you, I can't guarantee you who's going to win that fight. But one thing I can guarantee you is that Devin Haney is going to get hit, and he's going to get hit a lot if they fight. So I don't think that's a good fight. I think Brian Norman is naturally the bigger man. He's at 147. Haney would be moving up to 147. Yeah, you know, after campaigning for his whole career basically at 135 at lightweight, and to like jump up to 147. Listen, love him or hate him, you got to give Devin Haney credit. Devin Haney is one of the few boxers, like Terrence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, he's one of the few boxers that does not run away from any smoke. This guy, he wants to fight only the best, only the best. And you got to give somebody like that respect. Love him or hate him, you know, because I know old media done conditioned a lot of y'all, 85% of y'all following what old media laid out for y'all and social media to hate him. But listen, he's a humble dude, family-oriented guy, loves his father, his family. What is there to hate about him? He doesn't talk mad smack. His father does, but he doesn't. So, yo, love him or hate him, you got to respect him, man. He's willing to go straight to the top to fight the top guy in the welterweight division in Brian Norman. And I agree with what Brian Norman said after the fight. Jin Sasaki, that's a name, you know, stay familiar with that name, because Jin Sasaki, like Brian Norman said, he's going to win a title. He's going to win one of the other 3 titles in this division. Sasaki's a tremendous talent, but as we can see, there's layers to this. And, you know, Brian Norman Jr. is on another echelon, man. He's on another echelon, man. Like, that dude, he's just top. He's got the build. His body type remind me of Sean Porter. It's like that big bruising football body, but he's got tremendous skill. I mean, you always hear me say I can't stand when fighters fight with their hands down. He keeps a tight guard, great fundamentals, great fighter. I don't think Devin Haney should fight him. I think Haney should go a different direction. And then after like testing the waters at 147, testing the power there, then, you know, after like a couple fights, then go after Brian Norman. Brian Norman's young as hell. He's only like 24. So you got plenty of time for a Brian Norman clash. So, yeah, stay away from Brian Norman for now. But I watch for Wadsworth Media. Peace.